Don't pick up the phone.
Come on in the room. I love that. Come on,
everybody. You know what time it is. It's Thursday. Thursday night, and we've been waiting all day for this, and we ready to get it started. I ain't gonna even hold you long because you look at these beautiful ladies, and they look good tonight. They came prepared. They want to look good, and I pray they talk good.
Yeah, we tried.
We got some conversation for today. And I know you want to beat us up, and that's okay, because we kind of used to it.
Yeah.
Every time we get here, it's just something about this atmosphere that makes me feel like talking, and I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to control myself.
No, talk. That's what you're here for.
But you know, I told him, I said, I don't want to ever go there to the point that I forget I got y'all.
No, we ain't gonna let you forget.
All right.
You all good?
Well, what I'm gonna do tonight, we got a conversation. We got two deep conversations, and we're gonna jump right in and get it started, and let these young ladies introduce themselves, tell us about themselves, anything they want to say. If they got some secrets, they better not say it, because somebody may talk. So just go on, say what you say your stuff, get it out the way so we can let's get this thing started.
Well, hello, everybody. How are you all doing on this marvelous, thankful Thursday? We are back with you all with another show on tonight with the Miss V and the Crew podcast. We missed y'all last week. Hope your Thanksgiving was well. I had a great time, me and my family. Hope you ladies had a good time.
We did.
It was really good. But yeah, we're here tonight. I'm Tempest, one of the co-hosts here. With the Miss V and the podcast. You can find me on Facebook at Tempest Marsaw. You can find me on Instagram at TB Loving God. And you can find me on Strengthen You Creations, which is a t-shirt brand that I have. So you can look me up if you want some custom made t-shirts made. Check me out at Strengthen You, the letter N, the letter U Creations. All right. Happy to be here. Chat soon.
Hi, it's Luanda, and we're back. I know you missed us last week, but we were celebrating with our families. I'm just so delighted to be here with you on today. I missed you all, and I apologize for the last time we were here. My volume wasn't working, so if you cannot hear me, or something wrong right now, or if you hear me, say, I hear you, girl. Let me know you hear me. It's a pleasure. This is Bubbling Brown Sugar. I have a website, whereas I do short poems and stories. And also you can reach me at LJ Hopper at Facebook or Instagram. But I'm just so delighted to be here with you all. All right.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And you heard them. They grown. They can speak for themselves. They did a beautiful job. The one thing I do, and I want to jump into it right quick because we got a lot to cover tonight. So we want to get it started and see how much we can cover tonight. The first thing I wanted to know, because this came over my mind the other day, that when it comes to trust, and how do you trust somebody when you meet them, or do you wait and find out that they're worthy to be trusted, to earn your trust? So which one is it? Because sometimes you say, I trust you till I can't trust you. But do you not trust them until they earn your trust?
Me personally, I don't trust nobody till I get to know them. I'm sorry. I don't. Trust is earned. Trust is shown. And when I do trust you, I appreciate you because you've given me something to trust in you. Now I can trust you, and you can cause me to lose that trust. So I don't want to get to the point where I lose the trust. But when I meet you, I trust what I see before me. But that doesn't mean I trust you ultimately. No, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. No, because you could be perfect. You can be a saint. You can be whatever you are. However, that's just what you're showing me right there. When you go on that first date, they don't know how you really are.
Right.
They don't know the extroverted side of you. You're going to do the introvert part. So, no, I don't trust you. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. No, I don't trust. Not right away. Like LaWanda said, that's something that is earned. You have to earn my trust, or trust is earned. Put it like that. Because you don't know this person. They'll put on this fakeness or this facade or whatever to be, to try to act like there's something what you might want them to be, but then later on down the line you start seeing that real person. So I think in the beginning a lot of times people are not honest of really who they are. They hide who they really are. So yeah, I'm not gonna trust you right away. You gotta be with you for a minute.
Swipe left,
Right.
not right.
I gotta be with you for a minute. And even when you with somebody for a minute and you begin to trust them, you find out they not who you thought they was. You could be with somebody for years in a friendship, not even just a relationship, but it could be a regular friendship. You could be at a church. You could be at a job. You could be anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And people would pretend to be something in the very beginning, but then as time go on, the layers start falling off. They start peeling. That skin, right?
Untrusty people.
Oh my God! I
you
got
got
trust
trust
issues. Side of you. Yeah, you got trust issues. And then after you done been through something, and you done been hurt, that trust, man, you really gonna have that other person really gonna have to do a little hard work to make me trust you.
How about you?
You know what? I always thought to myself that I'm gonna trust you until you prove that I shouldn't. And I don't know. Maybe I be naive, but I don't think maybe so.
That's just who you know. I'll say that's just who you are.
I trust what my
Everybody
eyes can
is different,
see.
right?
I don't know. I said, when you come into, you know what? I have no reason not to trust you. So I trust you until you show me that I can't. But one of the things that was just off the top of my head, and I was just thinking to myself, and I just shared that thought with you guys. Because when I was talking the other day, and I was talking with a mother, grandmother, and all that stuff, and a beautiful person, and raising her grandchildren's, and they sending her through some stuff. So I asked myself, I sympathize with women's or mothers who are raising their children's. Those that's doing it for some reasons that is beyond their control, like they have to do it, and they have no other choice. But what about a grandmama raising their children's because they don't want to see what the children are going through. They want to be there. They love them. Their parents is just not with it or not good. So how do you just feel about a grandmother stepping in the shoes to become a mother?
Well, for me, I was helping my son and my daughter with their children as they were coming up, but it was for different reasons. My daughter was working. I wasn't raising her, but I was helping her. But with my son, he was in the Navy. And the kid's mother was in the Navy. So somebody had to step in and help them. So on those cases, I feel like, yeah, I help them. But in other instances, we've all had parents that wasn't like almost the best parent in the world, but we had to deal with them. If your children are going through some things that's uncontrollable, that's out of their hands, then yeah, I come in and help for a season. But it doesn't mean I'm finna raise your children, because that means those are my standards and not your standards. If you're incarcerated, that's different, because I wouldn't see my grandkids going to the system or anything like that. But if you just being lazy, you out there on the street doing your thing, I'm bringing them right to you, because that means it's gonna bring you in the house. All y'all sitting out there just because you out there just doing nothing. No, you're not gonna take over my whole life, and I done raised you, and I'm thinking that I raised you to be better than that. So if I train that child up, I figure that you're going to change your ways. I'm going to believe that you're going to change your ways. And so, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to give up my whole life and do. I assist you where you're weak and where you fall short, but taking on the whole entire responsibility, no, I don't see myself doing that, because that's just too much work. And you get older and you be like, I'm trying to live my best life, and I'm trying to be
right. You live your best life too.
Yeah, I'm gonna live my best life, and you still living yours.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. No, I don't think we should. I think that's selfish if they make us do that.
I had a couple of people commented, and Helen from Mississippi said, "No way, no how." And Jackie said, "Well, if the grandmother don't, who will?" And one of the young ladies said, "It takes too much energy to go back and try to do that again."
Oh my God. Ooh.
And so I'm actually on the side of you. I don't believe that you have done your duty and then you turn around and do somebody else's duty. I think you got to when you have them, you should be responsible. I even think that all of these kids that's being taken from parents for reasons like that, they need to put them in a home and make them take care of their own children.
Yeah.
Because regardless of how that mother is, the children love them.
They do.
They love their parents.
Yeah.
So why would you take them out, put them in homes that is on whatever, and then you divide them, put them in a home and say, you know what? You on house arrest to take care of your children. These yours, take care of them, and say no. Ain't nobody gonna take your load. You gonna have to be responsible. Stand up and do it.
But what about, okay, so I would agree similar to both of you. I feel like if a child, like she said, if a child is incarcerated, or just say for instance your child unfortunately end up on drugs and be out there in the street, and DCFS just want to come take the grandkid, I'm not gonna let you take my grandkid. I'm gonna step up and do what I need to do, and of course talk to your child and try to help your child get some help, because at the end of the day you still a mother, right? So yes, you're a mother and now you're a grandmother. So me personally, I would do whatever I could to help my child as well as help my grandchild, and until my child can get themselves together. Right now, you said put them in a home, but just say this person has a drug habit, right? What do? You can't force them, because we know, for one, when people are addicted, addictions are spirits, right? I'm sorry. Addictions are spirits. So sometimes it takes a moment to get that person together and get you cleaned up or whatever. So in the meantime, I'm gonna do what I can to help my child get better and get clean, so you can get your child, but I will step up and take care of my grandkids.
Well, I'm going over their house. I'm gonna help you clean up. I'm gonna help you do whatever you got to do, but you gonna figure it out with your child. I done seen so many people on drugs and their house is spotless. I seen people on drugs trying to clean. They got a sickness. It's just like having diabetes, high blood pressure, whatever. You got a sickness, and if you want to get free, now that's the thing. They gotta want to get free. But I'm gonna come over there and babysit when I can. I ain't coming over there all the time. I ain't gonna sugarcoat stuff for you and make you feel like your drug habit is victory for you because you're on drugs. That means you get to be free to go do what you want to do.
No,
I'm not doing that.
No, I don't think they get to be free. Not at all. You still got to do, as the mother to that child, you still got to do what you do. Let them know, like, hey, I'm taking care of this baby of yours for this amount of time. I'm gonna need you to get together, or else we're gonna revisit this and see what we can do. But my thing is, if this parent, for whatever reason, just don't get it together, what do? Do you take your grandchild and put your grandchild in this drug infested home that you know that this parent, even though their house is spotless, but you know they on drugs? They can go in the room, get high, and be nodding off while you got a 6-year-old at home. You know what I'm saying? Just at home, pretty much by themselves.
Every day. It's happening.
But it's happening. So that's what I'm saying. In a situation like that, do you just leave? You just gonna say, well, I'm gonna leave this child with you because this is your child? Or do you step up and then tell your child, look, we finna get some help. You got to do what you got to do. You know, I'm giving you time. But even if that time run out, you got to, what you going to do? Place here. I'm sorry, you got to take your kid and walk away from your grandchild. Me personally, I couldn't do that part.
Yeah.
Before I take that kid, I'm going to call DCFS myself. I'm going to make sure you not giving no kid to me temporarily. If I'm going to take the responsibility, I'm going to take the full responsibility. And that's the thing. We give them so much leeway until they feel like she raised, and then they come back 15 years later. That's my child. You took my child. No, you ain't got to say that about me. My mama was drinking and everything, but she took care of her kids. You know what I'm saying? And there was 9 of us. And we used to take care of her in her episodes. You know what I'm saying? She had episodes, but when she came out of that episode, she cooked and she cleaned and she taught us what to do. She wasn't always perfect, but she was a mother. And I'm saying that to say that if you train that child up, yeah, we're going to make mistakes. They're going to probably fall, but I don't feel like handicapping them, because sometimes we handicap them. We take on their responsibility. So what they gonna do? My mama got it, my daddy got it, I ain't gotta do nothing. So it ain't enough for them to worry about. But if you love your child like we love our child, you're gonna you even though you got addiction, you're gonna fight with that addiction. That's how I feel.
Just recently, I read a thing. I don't know if you guys run into it. There was a grandmother who took on her granddaughter, and the granddaughter was 12 years old. And with her being 12 years old, apparently, it had some issues that going on. They got into it and all that stuff. And the girl didn't want to do what she wanted to do, and asked her some questions. Can I have a boyfriend? And the grandmama said, no, your schoolwork is your boyfriend, and you can't go outside. And she disobeyed her and did everything the grandmother told her not to do. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get the update to the situation, and we getting stuff one-sided.
That's true.
But the grandmother gave the 12-year-old a black eye. And
I think I heard it.
And when she gave her a black eye, they beat her up. I mean, the people's, oh my God.
The grandmama up.
Oh, they beat the grandmama up. They talked about her so bad. And I said, well, I'm gonna let them beat me up too. Because honestly, I come from a time when you did that, you would have gotten 2 black eyes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
2 black eyes. But they talked about it because, and all of the stuff they talked about. And I am not going to say that the grandmother was right. But what I would say is grandmother stepping up, the grandmother taking on an extra load, and the energy that it takes to raise a 12-year-old. By the time a child got 12 years old, you better believe a 12-year-old now is not like the old 12 years old.
Totally different.
This is a totally different 12-year-old. These 12 years old has got switchblades and machetes.
Guns, right?
They are killing you and putting 16 bullets in you.
Yep.
And they are being tried as an adult at 12 years old. So now you talking about a grandmama who's already, well, she didn't look like an old grandmama.
She was ready for him though.
But she didn't play. And she did say, I didn't intentionally to hit her and give her a black eye. That was not my intention.
Yeah.
But nobody, not one person, spoke any good about the grandmama.
Oh, wow.
Not even
Her son was incarcerated. And the daughter and the mother is still in the child's life.
So why she have her own child?
Have her own child.
Why I gotta raise your baby and you see what I'm saying? That's giving her freedom, and you taking all the hack, and this child is disrespectful. Cause I'm telling you, man, I'm old school too. I'm not having it.
And then on top of that, I wanted, and obviously after she got the black eye, she had to go to school, and the school had to call because by law they had to do that.
Yeah.
And so when they called, it wasn't where they said this is it happens all the time. The grandmama do it all the time. It was a broken arm. She has broke legs. She's been beat in the ribs. It wasn't like it was like a redundant situation. It was like that. But then obviously they took her to jail. And she said, I'm trying to help, and this is what happens to me. Obviously.
So when you take on your children's kids or your grandkids, do you think that because your kids don't whip their children, you're not supposed to whip them? Or do you think that old school discipline is out where they used to spare the rod, spoil the child? How do you discipline kids nowadays?
That's the question. Is this discipline or abuse?
Yeah.
Because if people's abuse, it's so much of that's going on, but most of that ain't even being documented or even being fought. This child is not 12 years old, is not no child.
No.
I mean, and if you had saw her, she wasn't no little 12-year-old.
Was she disrespectful and talking
disrespectful? Now this is what the grandmama said, because when you get the news, they are at the school. The school is called the police, and the school is letting you know what's going on. And then when they call the police, obviously all the story unfolds.
Now, was this the story where the son who was incarcerated was the mother's child? The grandmother's child,
exactly.
Right? Okay, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I heard that story and I was wondering, like, where is the mother though?
Yeah, she was there.
Yeah. Okay.
She was there. There shouldn't have been a case where I'm raising your child and you okay, your life is good and you got your own place. You living with your mama, your kids live with your mother. That's where it goes.
You know what, when it comes to back in the day, and I'm in that time. They would tell you it'll get well before you get married. They would not even. And what happened is that grandmother is going to be hurting way longer than the 12-year-old.
Right.
Yeah.
The 12-year-old that going to heal and it's going to get okay.
Yeah.
But the grandmama, what she was put through, what she had to go through, had to be put to jail, put handcuffed on.
Mentally, she's
and
gonna be still going through.
she's gonna still be going through.
Emotionally.
And if we as peoples that's out here seeing this as social stuff cannot speak something good into situations, and all we can see is negativity and all the bad things, because out of you don't know nothing about the situation, you got one day and you saw one situation, not a minute, not an hour, a month, a year. You just looked at one such circumstances and a situation and then down and talked about this woman. We got to be better.
We got to do better.
We got to do better. If you cannot speak that and say, I pray for that family and I hope that it can they can rise above this, that can be renewed, restored, and brought back together. If you can't say something like that, then just don't say nothing at all.
Yeah.
We got to stop beating people up for reasons that we don't even know. And you sitting out in the radio land, probably doing more, taking more, and you up there talking about somebody else's situation. It was just a sad situation.
I seen one situation where there was two children, teenage children, beating up their grandmother, and she was old. They fought her in the house, drug her, and everything through the house, and they videotaped it and was laughing at it. And I was just so angry because this lady is old, and they were laughing. I don't know what happened to the kids. I don't even know if the lady's still alive. That's how old she was. And this was like 2 years ago. The kids was in the kitchen hitting her and everything. They thought this was funny.
Wow.
They thought this was funny. And they're in this lady's house. She's raising them. It was 3 kids. The 2 youngest ones was fighting her, and the oldest one was videotaping, laughing.
Wow.
How do you do that? And so for me, as being a grandmother, a mother, even with my children, you have to have your guards up. You have to make sure that they know that this is not tolerated. She probably was a firm grandmother when they was younger, but as you get older, you get weaker. But I would think that a love for a person that's taking care of you, love for a person that's feeding you, love for a person that birthed your parents would be enough love for you to say, I'll never hurt you.
Yes.
I love you enough to make sure I take care of you.
Exactly.
But it's not the case these days.
Look at
And that's when it'll get to a point to where DCFS need to come get these kids, because I'm not gonna let them abuse me as the grandmother. Somebody gonna have to come get somebody gonna come and have to come get these kids. So let's ask the question to our listeners. So the topic that we're talking about now is, do you think grandparents should raise their grandchildren? And if so, why or why not? So tune in, not tune in, call in. Y'all can call us at 708-223-8953. Again, it's 708-223-8953. Call us here at the show and voice your opinion. Let us know what you think. Should a grandparent raise their grandchildren? If so, why or why not?
And two, I kind of agree with you, Wanda. A lot of times we give so much space for people to do what they do. You know what I'm saying? People are not held to accountability.
Yeah.
And if you give them the rope or you crack the door, they'll easily come in. So I think all of that is, we have to be more conscious.
We do. My grandkids told me on Thanksgiving, Grandma, you got no filter. You mean, and you got no filter. I said, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm not finna play with you. I'm not doing it, because they're older now. Like they challenged that lady. They're older now, and I have to keep my guards up. Not saying that they would, but not saying that they wouldn't. I got it. My mom didn't play. My mother did not play as we got older. If she had to take a stick to us, she did. And I'm saying that I'm not saying I have to do that to my grandchildren. I'm saying that we got to continue to let them know that, we love them. We're going to give them, we're going to cuddle them and everything, but we still have to be firm. Sometimes we, as grandparents, we love our grandchildren so much, we let them get away with stuff we wouldn't dream of letting our children get away with. And they walk through on us and everything like that. But we have to be careful with that nowadays, because the world ain't the same as when we were coming up, because even though our grandparents probably let us do a lot of other stuff, we were still mannerable.
Yeah.
We were still mannerable. I remember being in Mississippi. I'll never forget. Everybody, my great grandmother had all the grandkids outside. We was playing and everything. Everybody knew but me. But the ball went in her rose bush. Guess who they told to go get it?
They sent you
Oh
off.
my God. They
That is
sent me
sent
to
out.
the rose bush. I put one toe in there. I don't know where that old lady came from with that switch. But she told me up. All the grandkids, all of us. It was like 50 of us. Everybody was scared of her because she did not play with us. But she made sure we ate. She made sure we had a place to play. But you're gonna respect her stuff. That's what you got to do.
And by the time you get like that age,
Mhm.
it's already established. See, what happened is you cannot start trying to discipline and do all that stuff when they get 12
When
years
they
old.
get older.
You got to have planted that foundation, and then now when they get that age, you ain't gonna have to do it.
Right.
They know better.
Yeah.
You can just look, and they gonna know what to do. But now I found out that a lot of what we do is this generation, or even younger, a little bit younger than me, we try to make sure that they kids don't go through what we went through. Oh, I don't want you to go I don't want you to have to do what I do. Trust me, we turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
Some of us.
Well, right. I think you're right.
We do.
You're
We
right.
we want to do different. And then
A lot of
do
times
you
we
know that
don't.
when we was on the way from home and we could smell the pinto beans cooking, and they're like, y'all finna have pinto beans. We be so glad to get them pinto beans. We was in a hurry to get them. And I said, no, you tell your kids to eat some pinto beans. Oh, they want McDonald's, they want Mickey D's, they want Wendy's. But if they only had and they grew up with pinto beans, they would have been glad to get them. But now they start letting them make decisions. How do you let a youth make a decision? How do you let a child make a decision? I'm just not starting to get decisions right. And you up here asking these young people to make a decision. They said, well, why you can't, I heard somebody say, well, you know what? I think it's okay. My grandson, I think it's okay for the kids to ask why and you explain. I'm not finna spend my time trying to explain to no child. I'm not finna do that.
Did you explain the gas bill, the light bill, the rent?
That's what I'm saying. But that's the problem now. We got to explain. Well, they ought to know, and we ought to explain. That's this new generation.
Well, I do agree. I agree that I agree.
You one of them ones.
I'm one of them ones to a certain extent. I'm not gonna lie. That because I was that kid who always asked why. And my mother used to get mad. She used to get mad at me. Stop asking me why. If I tell you do this, that's what you do. It's because I said so. But one of my children always had this, she's the one who says a lot of stuff. So why do we say, don't ask me that no more, or none of your business, or because I said so? I feel like when you think about it, it's like you don't give your child an opinion. You don't let them have an opinion. Who are they? So like just going back to the pinto beans. If we cooking pinto beans, I'm going to force you to eat these pinto beans because that's what I like. But why do we not give our child an option to say, well, I don't like the beans. I like this. So it's like you're forcing them to be who you are. You're forcing them to eat what you eat. You're forcing them to think how you think. So they don't have an identity of their own because you want them to carbon copy who you are. So when they grow up,
I bet you they going to love
when
you.
they grow up, who they going to be? I'm going to be my grandma. Or you see what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna be my mother. So they don't have an opinion. And so then you think about it. Sometimes you grow up, you get into the world, and now you're just doing what people say do because this is what you was taught. If they say do this, then I'm supposed to do it. If they say eat this, I gotta eat it. I shouldn't have an opinion. So when do I get my own opinion and my identity?
18 or 21.
When you buy your own beans. When you get an opinion on what I cook in my house.
I don't blame.
Honey,
Because
And
that's you know what I was telling.
Back
What
in the
I
day,
said
they did that though.
they did, and you
They
know
did.
why? Because they know that you are my child and I'm responsible for you. So
Yeah.
I got to be accountable. So I got to do the things to make this decision that now. How can I be accountable for decisions you're making? No.
And it's teaching them survival skills. You can't get everything that you want in life.
Exactly.
If I'm eating beans and you eating shrimp because you decided your meal
And
costs
ain't
way
paying for
more
it.
than mine, and I can't even afford the beans, but I'm gonna sacrifice for you the shrimp. I'm teaching you how to survive. I'm teaching you that you can make a meal out of whatever. My friend kids used to come over and say, Auntie, you know how to make. I take any kind of Aldi one-stop canned good, and we got a gourmet meal because I had kids and they had to survive. Ain't no way I can go out and get everybody what they want. Your taste buds didn't. You better adjust them taste buds, or guess what? We're gonna wait till you get enough money and to buy what you want. And other than that, you're gonna survive on what I got.
I'm glad. I'm gonna say this. I'm glad I don't live with them people right there.
glad. You
Now,
sure
growing
better
up,
be glad.
my mama was that mama. You right, cousin Shady. You right. My mama would try to make you eat this and tell you to do this and do that. And you're right. When you grow up, you be like, I'm not gonna do my kids like my mama did me. So maybe that's why I be like, hey, because at my house
And
anyway, we all eat different. I eat one way,
and that is
afford that.
That is right.
I got light, gas, phone,
well,
cable,
thank you, Lord,
everything.
for blessing me to
and you
afford
know what?
it. I
And
got
most
all
of
the
them,
bills too, but hey.
can't afford it, but they scuffle it to do it.
Yep.
No, and you don't even realize when the kids get up to make those type of decisions, they don't even want it. When you get up, you can buy them type of shoes. Now they ain't even want them kind of shoes. You want them when I'm paying for them, but you don't want them when you buying them. It's something wrong with that picture.
That's true.
You want all of this and stuff. Now when you in my house, you're turning on every light.
Yeah.
You're cutting the heat up every high. Then when you get to paying your own bill, you're getting there. Ain't no lights in the house.
Turn the heat down.
Mama,
All the
turn that
lights
down.
Yeah. Now all of a sudden, if you're a turn to trade and turn, and when you is responsible, you have to make the responsible decision.
Yes.
You do not let no kid make a decision, and you is held accountable for it.
I feel like we
Down
can
in
have
Memphis,
a balance. I feel like it could be a
ain't
balance.
no balance.
But
balance
I
is what
personally
I say.
don't feel like
And
I'm gonna make you eat something that I know you don't like.
That's our problem.
Yeah.
Because if they'd have
But
grown
it's to
up
each
on
his
pinto
own.
beans,
Right.
they would have had no problem with them. But see, you didn't do it. You're like, what you want, John? What you want? You all want the same thing. Sit down and eat.
Let me go to these 16 different stores to get y'all what y'all want.
This,
Burn
baby.
my gas.
Baby, well, we sure
Carry these bags
go to
up.
3 different stores, baby. What,
Yeah, but we
What do y'all think? Do the
We-
kids
yes, we
should
do.
the kids make their own choices on what they gonna eat, even though they don't have any money? But should they make their own choices in the house? Because
mine didn't even go to the store with me to buy clothes. When they came back, Mama, you got me with this collar. And you look pretty good to me.
Yeah, the kids told me I had Payless. They thought Payless was name brand shoes.
Amen.
Till they grew up. You have to do what's in your budget, do what's in your means.
Of course, if it's in your budget, that's what you do.
And then when they go into school, then you're saying
Sometimes
that
even
the
when they
teacher tell them to do something and they say, I don't want to do it. So they making choices sometimes they make choices all over, because if I can do this in my house and I can do this to my parents, then I can do it to you too. And then that causes conflicts in the schools and places that they go, because they feel like it's not that they can't make choices, it's how and when. We have to teach them how to make choices,
what you gotta do.
when
That's
to
what you gotta
make
do.
choices.
Right.
But just by they help you run a household, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think it's a balance. Now, when it comes to eating or certain things, it's a balance. But of course, you still gonna teach and train your kids. Like, okay, when you still have to be respectful to the teachers, and you know what I'm saying. Just because you have an opinion, don't mean you take it to the extreme and just think you're supposed to be a disobedient kid. That's not how that goes.
And
just
then you ain't gonna draw the line.
I give you the option to have an opinion.
Yeah, but then that line becomes so thin. Because when you start to letting them do this, now next thing you know, they're gonna take that one situation and they're gonna go here. Next thing you know it. And honestly, I truly believe that's what done happened to our society. These kids now, do you see these kids that's beating up the seniors? The seniors trying to go, now the whole they scared to leave. And then you got all of these, they're going downtown and they twerking and stuff on the buses and the cars. You know.
Twerking.
I didn't say it right.
Twerking.
They twerking.
They twerking
on the. They twerking, and you got all of this here stuff going on when you got the jails being full, and you got the disrespect, and I ain't knocking all of them, because trust me, there's always going to be better good than it is bad, but this is where we start to letting them make grown up decisions. You started letting them, you let them out the pasture too soon. You got to keep them hedged as long as you can, because when they do get out, you're going to be like the grandmama.
Now, sometimes you keep a man for so long,
okay,
and you done kept them sheltered and shielded for so long. When it's time to get out, they out and they wilding about.
But
so it can go both ways, honestly.
But you don't have to keep them sheltered and in when you're training them. You can expose them to different things. You can take them to parks, museums, different things. You can expose them to different things. I remember my sister always say, when I was making decisions for you, you were doing good. When you start making your own decisions, hell came around you, because sometimes they so big on want to make all their own decisions, and you step back and you allow it, and then you see the things that happens. You see that because we gave them so much reign, I'm gonna do this. My mom don't care, my dad don't care, whatever. It's not that you gotta you keeping them sheltered, and you gotta expose them to different things. You gotta allow them to see different things and have their own way, walk their own way. But at the same time, you just can't let the reins go and just give them full range.
Right.
You gotta.
I didn't say give them full range, but I'm saying I feel like you should allow your child to have some type of opinion. I personally do not feel that I should put everything the way I think. You don't have to think, because God made us all to differ. Even as a kid, you're different. You have a different opinion. I might say I love red and everything in the house gonna be red, but my kid might say, but mama, I don't like red. Maybe red make me feel a certain kind of way. I'm gonna say paint your room red because I said I like red. To me, that's just me. Some things to me, it don't make sense to me.
That's why.
But it's to each his own. If it worked for you, you do what works for you.
That's
in your house, right? If it worked for me, I do what I do, and vice versa. And that's how, of course, that's how society is. But you definitely do have to have a balance. I gotta say that.
That's how you get when kids go out and they go to somebody else's house and they children is doing all that and they doing that. Then that's when you have to reel them back in and say, but they ain't your mama,
right?
This what this mama say.
That's true.
And everybody they got their own levels on how they raise their children. That's how when you gonna tell me that this woman blacked this girl eye, that was how she raised, but now we fought her because that's how she raised them. Because I would have blacked one eye too. And I would have told her to take your children, keep them at home. If you don't want them to have a black eye, take them and keep them at home.
Especially if you know how I am.
Yeah, I raised you, so you know.
Right.
So I just think that it's and I think that black eye just went too far. But she said she didn't intend that.
She said, "Eat what I cook or don't eat."
I know that's right,
and that's what they told.
So
that's what
Facebook family. Do you feel like if you cooked a whole pot of meal and everybody in your house should have a say on what they eat, what they do? The children. We're trying to see if the kids should have an opinion. Yeah, their own opinion. And also, should grandparents be responsible for raising their grandchildren? Let us know what you think. Chime in. You can call us at 708-223-8953, or you can text your response in the Facebook chat and we'll read it. But just let us know what your opinion is. I know Miss V got some responses over there. I need to probably go get it. But let us know what you're thinking.
I know, right? I know, these are all good subjects because I promise you, they all think I'm crazy about some stuff, but I just think that parents has,
my cousin said she raising 2 of hers.
No,
that's a blessing.
No, I see so much stuff going on, and I'm just at somewhere we dropped the ball. It's one thing I remember.
Sorry, y'all, for all the noise in the background.
Is one thing I remember back in the day, and I'm gonna say this, and then I want you to
bring up our other topic briefly.
That's one thing when it came to if we remember in there what Joshua said, me and my house. And when he said how his house is, he was telling them, and he's, how do you do this? He said, well, I'm going to bring 12 stones over across. And he said, why are you going to do that? Because I want you to remind the generation that's coming how we got over. And how you got over. You're going to need to be able to tell your children how you got over. But now ain't nobody talking or they not listening because they doing their own thing and they are establishing their own ways. It ain't about that. You let me lead you and let me be responsible for you so that when it comes down, I can say, that's my fault. Ain't nobody to blame but me. But when I start letting you make decisions, now all of a sudden I got to pay for your decision. I think something wrong with that. As long as I'm paying the cost, I'm gonna be the boss.
You're gonna be the boss.
I'm gonna be the boss. And when everything fails, I gotta take the heat. I gotta take the responsibility. I gotta take the problem that comes along with it. And you are. And I'm gonna tell you, and what you going through and what you had to go through to get there. Sometimes you just gotta pat your own self on the back that you made it, how you made it, right? With what you had and what you had to deal with. So no, bring those stones across there and remind them, baby, this is how we got over. And we got over with some pinto beans. Didn't even have no meat. And we had some hot water bread. And we made it.
Pinto beans, spaghetti, and neck bones.
Jails wasn't full. Kids respected their parents. Didn't have no problems with arguing and fighting. Now everybody in a bedroom and ain't nobody talking to nobody. It's easy. But then when it was like that, it was easy because the parents was in charge. But now when you put everybody in charge and everybody got their own personality, got their own attitude, got their own wants, you're going to have a confused environment. But you
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Well, I promise you.
I mean, that's just me.
No.
I don't think so.
And it's supposed to be.
Yeah. I don't think so.
We got one other thing because we're gonna because I know I told you I'll be done talk y'all to death. So
that's
I'm
okay.
Good. So I want you to
like it.
I want to we wanted to
we had another topic. That's what you're talking about?
Oh, okay.
Topic? Is that what you're talking about?
No, help yourself. Go ahead.
No, what you finna say?
No.
Okay. I thought that's what you were talking about the other topic. So okay.
I want to know how you're gonna bring it in.
Okay, so what we also had another topic, y'all, we wanted to talk about. We're gonna talk about this one briefly because our time is almost up. So we'll do a little bit of it and we'll probably continue it next week. Okay. So this question is, if your husband or wife passes away, do you feel okay for your spouse to remarry? Why or why not? So if your husband or if your wife dies, do you think it's okay, or are you okay, even though you passed away? You don't know if they really gonna get married or not. But are you okay with them remarrying? Why or why not?
So are you okay with your spouse remarrying
after you pass away, after you die? Do you think he should remarry?
I think he can remarry as long as he gets somebody my standard or above. You can't you can't be coming up in there with nobody. Yeah, well, my standard or above, because I work hard. We a team. Nobody that come and just lay back because they good in the room and all in the bed and or they can sing good or on key better than me. No, they got to come with some kind of standards. They got to come above. But he can marry.
But what if he don't look for them to be that? He just want a companion.
Well, they better get their own place.
So they can't stay in that house you and him was there.
No,
they can't. They gotta move on.
They gotta
move
them a
whole
on.
New house and start a whole new life together.
That's my personality in there. She got to bring her own personality in there.
Now that I agree, I'd agree. And the question came about because I was at work and we was having a conversation, and a couple of my coworkers was saying, one of the coworkers was saying her husband better not marry nobody else because she is his first love, his true love and soulmate, and he better not marry nobody else. And so, we had conversation going back and forth about that. And then another coworker said she went and asked her husband this question, and her husband said, no, she better not marry nobody else because all these years they've been married, he worked hard to bring the money and do, make things good. And for her, she better not bring nobody else in and reap what he done did. So I said, you know what? I want to bring this to the people and let's see, what kind of feedback we get from this question. Like, do you feel it's okay for your husband or wife to remarry? Now, for me, I would say hey, if you want to be happy, if you need somebody, whatever, remarry. I'm more power to you. I'm dead and gone. I don't know what you're doing. You could tell me you ain't gonna marry, but I'm gone. How I'ma know?
I'm a hunter.
See,
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't like ugly.
I think that's
What would you do?
I think
How
that's
would you
that's a
feel?
contract that has been ceased.
Yeah,
And you ought to want somebody to be happy when you're gone.
that's what I'm
And-
saying.
And by any means necessary. And
No,
I'm just saying that that's how I feel.
That's
Because
how I
I'm like,
feel.
if when I lived and you have me, and if we've been happy and that, why would you sit and cry over some dirt
Come on,
or whatever?
I'm gone.
Live the best
Live-
that you
that's
live your
it.
life the best that you know how.
Live your
That's it.
life. That's it.
yeah, I do. I
Find
do agree.
happiness.
You're supposed to live. I don't even mind you getting remarried or whatever. But
Don't
I
bring 'em
do
in your
have a
house?
problem with somebody coming in taking over stuff that I've built, and then now this person taking over from what the kids can have or the grandkids can have, and they ain't putting no labor into it. That's why I say you got to be on my level or above. Because if you're on my level, you're gonna have a heart of compassion, and you're gonna make good decisions. And plus, my husband needs somebody who know how to do technology. So you got to know that kind of stuff too.
Because that's what you do. So
But
you
that-
need a tech.
well,
a
that
tech woman.
brings something up totally different.
Okay.
Because now suppose that you leave somebody and you have acquired a lot of stuff, and this other person comes in and now is hers and his.
Oh, it's my kids.
See, that's what I'm saying. But most people do not make those type of
My-
decisions ahead of time.
Right. That's true. That's true.
They don't put nothing down. Is now that might be something like if you have a house and he moves somebody else in. If he marry her, now she is part of it.
That's right.
Now the children's now.
Unless it's in writing.
Unless it's
after
in writing,
after
yep.
that, I passed. This goes to my children. Yeah, but that's a good one.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good one. Because a
Right.
lot of times it's not written. 'cause
And then
you're
vice
not-
versa.
Yeah.
His part should go to his children, vice versa.
Oh man, we could go so much deeper.
That was
This
deep. That was
deeper.
deep right
Because
there.
I'm gonna tell you what happens if this and I don't even want to start this one because this could go real
That's
far.
okay. We could
Real
continue.
far.
We can continue.
This was a husband and a wife, but the wife, she had some children's. When the husband got sick, the children's come and got their mama and left the husband there sick. Do you think that was
their
fair?
daddy?
No.
Okay.
No, that's not fair. Because when you marry, those all are your children. So
Yeah, well, they said they did not want, and this has happened for real. They said they did not want that situation to take their mother down and have their mother sick. She's not going to stay here and take care of
was
you.
she too
and
old
she-
to take care of herself? The mother?
The mother was good. It was the husband that was sick.
Oh wow.
That,
So
that-
why did the mom let the kids take her?
Yeah, but you just imagine these mothers, older mothers. They depending on a lot of these kids is taking care of their
Yeah,
their-
it's like the table turn.
yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, I'm not going to let you get sick taking care of him.
did
Yeah.
the
I can
husband have children?
He had 2 boys.
I just feel like when you're in a relationship to that standard and you've been married that long, I don't care if they're legal kids or not. If you're married, we should have gotten a relationship so much to. They love that man enough to take care of him as well, like you would do
Right.
your own
like
parent.
your own parent.
I know
Yeah.
it doesn't happen like that for everybody, but I feel like that's wrong. I
That's
know
true.
they didn't want their mother to pass on taking care of him, but that's who she chose to be with, and that's who she grew with. So I feel like in order to take care of your mom, you should have came in the house and helped take care of him and her,
Oh.
not take her out the house.
But it's also 2 sides to the story too.
How he
Right.
So
treated
we
her.
don't know how he treated her. That made them kids say, he's sick. You ain't finna do this because he already done dogged you out. And you ain't finna take care of him.
Yeah,
So
well, yeah,
we
because half
don't
of the
know,
time
you
we
know.
we only half is truth.
It's always
Right,
yeah.
right.
It's another side to that story.
But they did not want that because you know what, taking care of somebody sick is not an easy task.
It's not at all.
And
It's not.
and when they get up and you don't know that the mental setting in, you have to pull, you have to feed, you have to. It's a lot. And if you have a mother is up and with it, you don't want her to go down too.
Yeah, you don't.
You really don't.
You don't.
You don't. It does happen, and then they
And if
outlive the mother.
if it's
Right.
your
She
mother,
go down and he's still alive.
yeah, I mean it's one of those things. It's one of those things where it's you treading on some thin ice because you don't want to. They ought to be together to death do us part, but then at the same token, you don't want what they're doing to take them under either.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a lot I can see about that being in a similar situation before, just like that. But yeah, we on live. So I'm
Some
just
things
gonna
we
say,
can't talk about.
I'm just gonna say
The Lord
that.
ain't led you to speak about that
No.
live. Put it like that.
No,
I promise you, it's so much stuff that's out here that is thin line
Yeah,
it
between
is.
is.
It is.
and you just trying to make the best decision. And that's why I say sometimes in a situation you're in, you're trying to make the best decision that you can make at that time with what you have to work with. And you have to pat yourself on the back if you can get through it.
Let me pat myself on that.
I talked to an old lady just today who said her
Pat
daughter don't
yourself.
talk to her.
Pat yourself.
Don't talk to her.
You got a lot
Her
of people
daughter.
like that though,
So if you in a position, and I'm gonna tell you,
and it's
these
sad.
a lot of our kids when you've given and given and given, and then that's why I say you have to be very careful on what you give, how much you give,
Yeah.
and what you allow, and how you allow them to like when you come to them. No, this is how I roll.
Yeah.
And you because in a day and a minute they will put you in a nursing home and you will be in there making the people's work your family.
Yep, it's true.
I mean, it's hardening, but it is true.
Yep, that's when they say
That's
life is
another
life.
topic.
That is so true.
Nice
So
topic.
I promise you, I love this stuff, and I'm trying to be the best the best that I can be. Give us our last thoughts for the night, and I know we want to come back. We want to keep doing this, and I'm praying that we make sense to somebody, or we
too.
bless somebody in some way somehow, because nobody wants to do a race and the race is in vain. So we want to bless somebody along the way. Give them some last thought that you got on your mind today.
Well, I just appreciate you all being here. To as a grandmother and raise and that has tried to raise some young kids, it's not easy. So I just want to encourage children to do their very best. I know that you're not going to be perfect. I know that some of us fall and slip, but get back up. Don't leave that responsibility to your parents to do. That is your responsibility. You chose to have those children. Do what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to love your children beyond yourself. So I just want to encourage somebody that's going through something or just giving up on the kids to collect yourself, encourage yourself, and get your kids back. Or either just go assist your parents with the kids so they don't have to do it all on their own. Don't wear them out. So don't wear them out. Let them live.
She losing her head.
I like it.
I just want to say to all those grandmothers who are out there and who are raising their kids, I want to say kudos to you for raising your children, your grandkids, and I just pray that God will give you all the strength to continue to do what you're doing. But I do hope that you're only doing it for a temporary time and that you don't have to do it, for the rest of their lives or whatever. Um, Hopefully your kids are still around and, as LaWanda said, maybe they can still assist you with raising the kids. We don't know what the situation is, but we do know a lot of times, sometimes as grandparents, we do have to step in. So I want to say kudos to those who did step in. And yeah, just pray for you all strength and also when it comes to our children and having these opinions, like I feel like a kid can have an opinion, but at the same time, there still should be a balance between them having their opinion and being disobedient or disrespectful. So and thank you all for watching. We love y'all. I'm gonna say peace, but we ain't finished yet. We almost done because I was finna say
Um,
peace.
I think you guys have said it enough for me. I agree with you
Hey, Sister Cousin,
wholeheartedly.
I love you
Any
too.
grandmamas that's raising their grandchildren, I know what it is to be to do that. It takes something getting and going when you didn't want to. I mean, just the mere fact, and then you get up in age, and then you trying to get out there, tired, weary, wounded, sad. But I promise you, keep holding it up. There is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, it is.
God bless you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
God bless you.
We look forward to seeing
We
you next week.
appreciate you.
Appreciate y'all.
Have a good night.
Love all of you all for chatting.
I see you, baby. Get your shine on.